Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning into Conf42 Cube Native 2025. My name is Rajkumar, and I am a principal Salesforce engineer and platform architect, where I lead the design of large-scale AI-powered enterprise systems. Over the last decade, I've worked across organizations like Intel, Daimler Trucks, and Zenefits, building event-driven and modular and highly scalable architectures. What brings me here today is a growing concern I've witnessed across industries. AI systems that are powerful but fundamentally untrusted. In this session, we're going to explore a practical framework I call Cube Native Trust, an approach that blends architectural design, Kubernetes native tooling, and transparency first thinking to make AI systems not only powerful, but respectable, explainable, and ultimately reliable. Let's dive in. Here's what we'll cover in this session. We'll start by exploring the trust challenge, why even accurate AI recommendations often fail in enterprise settings. Then, we'll introduce five architectural pillars that will make AI systems more transparent and trustworthy. Everything from confidence scoring to audit trails. Next, I'll walk through a practical implementation blueprint using Kubernetes native tools like EC2, GitOps, and OpenTelemetry to operationalize this framework. We'll also look at real-time world use cases. And finally, I'll leave you with actionable takeaways you can use to start building trust into your own AI workflows. The trust. AI has incredible potential, but in enterprise environments, we often see a pattern. Users ignore those recommendations. Why? Because they can't see how it works. They can't scrutinize the logic, trace the data, or evaluate certainty. So despite millions invested, these tools end up sidelined. The real challenge isn't in prediction, it's transparency. If stakeholders can't validate what they are seeing, trust breaks down. And without trust, even the most advanced models become why enterprise AI is sidelined. Let's break down exactly why AI fails to gain traction in the enterprise. Lack of transparency. Most models act like black boxes, no insight into how the decisions are made. Missing context. AI doesn't often adapt to business realities like regulatory limits or budgets, thresholds, or workflow quirks. Insufficient observability. You can't trace inputs back to predictions, what means you can't add audit or debug. And finally, the big one, trust gap between teams. Engineers build the model, data scientists optimize it, but business users don't understand or trust it. Fixing the gaps starts with the architecture. Trust as a first class architectural concern. Five foundational design pillars for transparent AI. Pillar one, contextualized confidence scoring. Not every prediction is equally reliable, and users know that. So instead of flat confidence score, give them multi-dimensional insights. How confident is the model for this specific context? And how does this prediction compare to similar past scenarios? And how should the user interpret the score? By mapping the confidence to their mental model, and you make the AI output actionable and trustworthy. Digital pillar two, source traceability. Imagine you handed a recommendation and you want to know where it came from. With traceability, you can answer what data is used, how it's processed, what features did the model rely on, and where were there any business rules applied. This is like turning on the version history for every decision your AI makes. It's essential for auditability, for governance, and user confidence. Adaptive thresholds. Most AI systems use static thresholds. The only active confidence is greater than 70%. But that's rigid and naive. What you really want is adaptive thresholds that respond to use case criticality, operational constraints, risk tolerance. A 60% confident prediction might be acceptable for marketing, but not for healthcare. Adaptability is the progressive UI disclosure. Not every user needs the full mode internals, but some do. That's why progressive disclosure works. Level 1, simple summary plus confidence score. Level 2, key drivers and alternatives. Level 3, full lineage, model parameters, feature importance. It's like an expandable explanation panel. Let the user choose how deep they want to go without overwhelming them. Pillar 5, end-to-end audit trails. Finally, you need verifiable logs of what was predicted, why, and when. This means immutable logs, open telemetry integration, human feedback capture, outcome validation, and most importantly, compliance ready reports. This isn't just a nice to have for many industries, it's a requirement. Now, let's talk about implementation blueprint. Let's move from theory to practice. How do we build these trust features? Kubernetes gives us the right foundation. It is scalable, it is observable, and it integrates with the most modern CI/CD pipelines. We'll use that to our base Kubernetes implementation. Here's how each pillar maps to Kubernetes tools. Service mesh, like EC2 or Linkerd, to capture model traffic, latency, and trace requests. GitOps, like Agro or Flux, version control for models, trace which version did what. Open telemetry. Unified tracing from infrastructure to business outcomes. OBA or Keva to enforce governance, adapt thresholds, and secure the pipelines. Together, these tools operationalize trust. Now, reference architecture. It brings all in, it's a modular system where confidence scoring is computed in microservices, traceability is ensured via version pipelines, and the thresholds are policy driven. The UI exposes layered explanations, and audit trails log everything from prediction to outcome. This is trust by design. Let's move on to real world application examples. Let's make this tangible. Customer segmentation. Explanations include why a user falls into a segment with visual metrics. Leads routing. Sales reps can trace why the lead was prioritized, so that improves adoption. Patient risk scoring. Clinical UIs expose risk factors, thresholds, and scoring logic. Infrastructure optimization. Scaling decisions come with the cost, context, and past patterns. These systems aren't just smart, they can be trusted. So the key trust is here. If you remember one thing from this session, it's this. Trust is architecture. Build it in. Don't bolt onto it. Trust requires design, confidence, traceability, auditability. Use Kubernetes tools to implement it. Progressive disclosure empowers users. Audit trails ensure accountability. Feedback loops enable continuous improvement. Let's get started with the trust blueprint. If you're ready to bring this to your team, here's how to start. Audit your transparency gaps, map mental models to explanation needs, add confidence scoring to one model. Start tracing with open telemetry, add feedback loops into UI. Start small, build trust, scale smart. Thank you.